How are you?
Hello. Hi, I'm good.
How have you been?
Good. Sorry for keeping you postponed on this.
Oh,
It's
it's
been,
okay. Yeah, thank you
yeah.
for taking the time for the interview. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
How's quarantine life been for you?
Um, Good. Pretty boring besides the most exciting part of my day is running. So,
Oh, okay. Well, you haven't like picked up any like new hobbies or like new things that you want to try out?
Not really. I've always liked like drawing and painting and stuff
Hmm.
like that. I've done a little more of that than usual, which has been nice, but nothing like too exciting.
Oh, okay. What are some like things that you like to paint and draw?
Actually, I've been really into like Bible journaling. That's been
Nice.
like the main thing. So kind of like just reading the page and then, you know, using watercolors and kind of using that to express like whatever I read, and that's been like my favorite way of like taking time off of the day and stuff.
Cool, nice. That's awesome. Like, have you been
Mhm.
like watching any like new TV shows or movies?
Um, Let me think. I've always been a sucker for Grey's Anatomy, so I've been watching a lot of that.
Okay,
And
nice.
then just like a bunch of Disney movies on Disney Plus. I've always liked Disney movies
Mhm.
and family. Like, I don't know. I watch a lot of TV now because we have a lot of free time, but a
Nice.
lot of time.
Have you seen Mandalorian?
No, I haven't.
No. Oh, okay. Got it. So like during this like time of like adversity and uncertainty, like there's always growth. Like so, like what have you been like learning through this difficult time and like how have you grown?
Um, I think I've grown in like just perspective. I would say the
Hmm.
main thing is like understanding like you get really caught up in the running world or caught up in your sport or whatever you're passionate about. And, I think just like something like this really puts into perspective where that kind of line is like with everything else. Just like it's so out of our control and it's
Hmm.
something so much bigger than the sport that we play that, kind of just for me put into perspective how important running really is versus like everybody's health and
Right, for
everything
sure.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely like my perspective has changed as well, and like so many others as well.
Yeah.
So like, how's your like mindset train like in terms of like training wise?
Yeah. For me personally, um, it's been like it's been a crazy like year for me, like a lot of ups and downs and a lot of like, struggle with running and with mindset. So my mindset right now is just kind of like whatever I feel like I need mentally is like just to like enjoy running and, love running and using it as an escape and not like really putting a lot of pressure onto it, because like while you're in season, there's a lot of pressure to perform, a lot of pressure to perform, whether it's for yourself or your teammates or your coaches,
Mhm.
and that's all of that. And so I've just really been focusing on training just for myself and for my health and my happiness and, enjoying and loving the sport that I, started 3 years ago or 4 years ago now.
Got it. So are you like has training been really tough lately? Like especially like running by yourself and stuff like that? Or
Yeah,
have you
I'd
been?
say especially at first it was really hard to get used to
Mhm.
running alone. It's a big part of running is like the community and being
Oh yeah,
able
for
to like
sure.
share that, yeah, with your teammates and everything like that. So, um, yeah, I would say it's like more difficult. Like I definitely prefer running with people, but it's also nice mentally sometimes just to go out there by yourself and just be one with wherever you're running, and it's kind of nice sometimes.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like during the first couple of weeks, just running by yourself, it's like so tough. It's like so much more
Hmm.
easier if you run with people, and like
For sure.
sometimes like yeah, just like same pace and stuff like that, and just going like run with people like feels just more comfortable, more easier.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, so are you gonna take like 2 weeks off, or are you just gonna continue with like pre cross country training?
Um, right now I'm not really, I wouldn't say like I'm running for like cross country. I would
Mhm.
say I'm just kind of like, staying in like decent shape and kind of just enjoying running, like I was saying. And then I may take a small break depending on just how I feel and how my body
Mhm.
feels right before I really dive into some cross country training for the fall. It's kind of all up in the air right now, but I probably will take a break at some point right before I dive into like real cross country.
Got it. And like coming back from like an injury, like you have had like a dream comeback season. Like, how did that impact you, especially just hearing everything being closed and not, having that dream comeback season that you wanted?
Yeah, that was definitely the toughest part, is just not being able to finish high school the way that I really wanted to. Um, it's, it was like bittersweet. I'm happy that I still have college, and I'm happy that I get to continue running. I can't even imagine not being able to finish high school running and that just being the end of your running career altogether and not being able to go to college. So I'm really grateful for college and being able to continue in that way. But also, the bitter part is just not being able to finish the way I wanted. And I trained really hard for after cross country just to really have the season that I really wanted to end with. And so that was really difficult. But it's kind of like I was saying, like perspective, like there's things more important than me wanting my great ending to my high school running career. So, yeah.
Got it. So like being like such like elite like a runner and like a level of just like like with all your success and like and accomplishing so much like and just working like extremely hard from training wise like and where your whole world's kind of like life is involved with running, like how do you like when you got injured, like how do you like redefine like your purpose and your identity?
I'd say hands down is faith is the biggest
Mm.
way how I define myself. When I was younger and I was earlier in the sport, freshman, sophomore year, I caught myself like really defining myself as a runner. And, I just kind of learned as I got older and more developed in my faith and everything like that, running, while it's something I love and I enjoy, it's not who I am. And it's a big part of my life, but, it's not permanent.
Right.
And I find my faith as something very permanent and something that can never leave me or never disappoint me. And so when I did get injured and I kind of found myself being like, well, I'm a runner, but like I can't run, I really, really dove deep into calling myself like a child of God. And, that's something that will never be taken away from me, like running has been taken away from me in the past. So.
Got it. Yeah, so like you're like before you got injured, like like had some big goals and you projected to do some like great stuff. So like with that being like taken away everything, like how difficult was it for you like mentally to let go of just everything of running wise?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of people struggle with when they get injured for good reasons. It's really hard, especially when you get injured right at, your peak performance. I came off like a really good cross country year and I was really anxious and motivated to get out there and really perform for track. So mentally, yeah, that was probably really the toughest thing that I went through right in the beginning, before I really got to think and, my eyes were open to like some more wisdom about being injured in running. But when those first few weeks when I was injured, I knew I wasn't gonna come back. That was really difficult mentally, for sure. Yeah.
So what would you say was like the most difficult part during that time of like hardship?
Definitely just watching everybody else
Oh yeah, for sure.
perform. Yeah, especially like teammates, other competitors, people that I've always raced with since I was a freshman. That was really hard. I didn't even like watching like races or really knowing like what happened just because it made me like really upset. Like just I was happy for a lot of girls, like and a lot of our teammates. I was super happy for them. It was just really hard to watch when you don't even get to go out there and try.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Yeah,
that
like
was
one.
definitely.
Oh yeah, like definitely like when I was injured, like I'm still injured unfortunately right now, like for like more than a year. Like definitely like in the beginning, just watching like people like just race and just going to meets and like going there even to like support, but like just watching them like just hurts so much. I'm like, dang, like now I can just be out there and compete, run good times, but just not being able to do that, just like just watching them just hurts a lot for sure. I can
Yeah.
definitely resonate with that as well.
Hmm.
So, what would you say like helped you the most during that time? You mentioned like faith, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Um, that was definitely like I was saying earlier, it was kind of like when I lost being able to race and compete and just
Mm,
train in general. It's like I lost my identity, and that was the mistake I was making as a person, was just defining myself as a runner. So once I, really noticed that I was doing that and that, I'm not a runner, I can't really define myself as a
mm,
runner. Faith was the biggest thing that kind of pulled me out of that and really, you know, reminded me that I don't define myself as a runner. I enjoy running and I love running, but it's not who I am and it's not permanent. So,
mhm.
yeah, faith was definitely the biggest thing that helped me through that.
Got it. And like I was mentioning before, like I also went through an injury as well, like for more than 1 year, like a year and a half, and I'm still injured, unfortunately. Like it started like junior year, like when I was like obsessed with running and sort of a way where running was kind of like first in my life, and like um, and when I got injured and like I think for more than a year I've been like still doing like testings and meeting so many different doctors and like everything's all coming out normal and just like having an injury where the doctors don't know like what the problem is and not being able to run my junior year because I ran junior year with an injury and my senior year I didn't run in the beginning because it hurt so much where at the end I'm like maybe I just run like two more races still being injured because I'll never get this opportunity ever again but like during
Hmm.
that time I'm like wondering like why am I injured why do I have an injury for more than 1 year where doctors don't know what it is and like kind of like praying to God like like what he's trying to teach me and like I know that like all things like even the bad things are part of God's plan and his will and his plan for me as well so like during that time I really learned that like God like really like first like running like was the first place in my life where that where running was done where I can't run anymore like I really like strengthened my faith with God and just really like trust God more than I ever had especially with an injury where like it still hurts like it's still discomfort even though I don't run so just trusting God fully just because I never trusted God more than I ever had especially when the injury happened so yeah so I just yeah so what is like the biggest thing that like during that time when you're injured that God was teaching you during that time.
Um, Kind of playing off of what you're saying for sure is just putting running before everything else. It's kind of like we shall not worship like idols, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like anything not permanent, anything not God, it's like you're worshiping it. You shouldn't worship anything besides God, and I really lived by that. And I think at that point, I was worshiping running over my faith, and
Mm-hmm.
I really kind of dove into it like it was the most important thing in my life. And so the biggest thing I learned was, you know, like acknowledging that I need to really put my focus and my worth into God and not into something so like not permanent. And I think it really taught me like your worship being something like so out of your hands, like injury is so out of our hands, and you can do everything you want and you can train the hardest you've ever trained, but if you get injured, you get injured, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so, yeah, it taught me that just you cannot really rely on things of this world, and
Mm-hmm.
that was definitely the biggest thing, and also just doing everything for the right reasons, and you know that was probably the biggest things. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure. Like definitely, like at the beginning, like I was just like crazy obsessed with running, just like in general, like sports, like following running, like doing crazy research, and also this just running in general. So like definitely want to get injured. Like I said, just like took that time, like I had to like step back and just realize and reconsider like where my focus is and and perspective. So definitely.
Yeah.
So what would you say like is the biggest thing that you're learning this past year through your faith?
Um, let's see. Biggest thing I've learned this past year, probably just that I wouldn't have strengthened my relationship with God if I hadn't gone through any of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like I find that while my life is going super well and while um, everything is going the way that I want, I don't find myself, on my hands and knees as often. I while things are going bad, it's easier to, call upon God and, to ask for his help. And we tend not to do that while everything's going our way. We're just kind of living our life and enjoying it. And we forget to realize that that's also him. And so the biggest thing I've learned was just acknowledging God when everything goes well, not only when it goes bad, and, that he's worthy of our worship, even when our life is going great, not just when you need his help, but we should always be, for God and about God, even when our lives are going great.
For
So
sure.
that's the thing.
Got it. Oh yeah, and also like a couple months ago, I actually met some of your friends when I went on a retreat at Ukaipa. Yeah, it was such a coincidence. Yeah, I was like asking like what, cause like the staff were high school students, so I was asking like what high school they went to. And they said Ukaipa. I was like, do you know Tori? And he said, yeah, I know Tori. So I was like, dang, what a coincidence. So yeah, but
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I think one of them played soccer, another one ran for Ukaipa. So yeah, and one of them used to work with or her father used to work with your dad. So yeah, I forgot their names.
Cool.
So yeah,
Pat, was it? Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about, but
I
yeah.
forgot their names, but
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
okay, nice. Yeah, it was crazy. It's like a lot of people. Yeah, because the majority of the people staff there go to Ukaipa. So yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Um, so there's a quote that you mentioned in the article by like amazing talented Fiona Max that she wrote. You mentioned saying that like small adversity makes running that much more difficult, but great adversity makes running that much more peaceful. So like, what about like during that time of big adversity really makes running so much more peaceful to you?
hmm you know, kind of when I said that, I just kind of meant like when we're going through big adversity, it's like everything in your life, like something like this, like everything in our lives is just to shambles, and you don't really know what's going to happen, and running becomes that piece from the shambles. Like while I'm running, I'm not really thinking, it's just kind of like me enjoying like that moment and where I'm at. And so I find that when, we're struggling in life in general, and, everything's so unknown and up in the air, that running becomes like that serenity. And I really find like real peace in running when, life is just so confusing and crazy. But you also, the other side of what I was saying there too is like running also can be the stress when you're in season, and when, big things are happening. Like I was saying, like perspective is like before this whole thing happened, it's like I was so stressed with running because all the pressure and performing for my team and everything. So running became something more stressful while there wasn't great adversity in the world. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like it's when something bigger happens, running becomes peaceful, but I caught myself being stressed by running when it wasn't happening. So it's kind of like that weird line.
Got it. And another like topic that's pretty big, especially like in running and just in general, is like a lot of women runners like struggle with, especially in high school and beyond, is like kind of like body image and just like comparing themselves to others. And like for example, like Mary Kane with her story of just like how like just like running like a lot of just the perspective of just being more thinner, and being thin is more possible just to run more faster and lighter. And like how Mary Kane just sometimes got she got abused just by just her body image and just trying to be thin as possible, which that had a negative effect on her, and just really toxic. So like through all this, like a lot of people struggling with just the topic of just body image and comparison, especially for like high school running, like and also like college as well and pro. Like, what is your perspective on that running and that health?
Yeah, I would say that it's a huge problem in women's running and, high school running, like you were saying. You know, for me, it's just kind of, I mean, I define myself, like I was saying, so much in God's image and, everything like that, that's never something that's bothered me. When I'm a freshman and I'm a little girl, kind of a freshman body to like me 4 years later, almost 18 as a woman, obviously our bodies are going to change. And I think that, it's just society saying that that's like a bad thing. But in the end of the day, a woman's going to be stronger than a little girl. And I think a lot of people are just trying to be skinnier because in that moment that's going to make you faster. But I think it's just like a toxic kind of way society has defined women and
Right.
girls. And, it's just sad. And, we see it a lot in high school running and I'm sure in pro and college, like you were saying. And so, I mean, it's never been something that I'm personally struggled with like seriously or anything like that. But it's just sad. And I think it's just something that society has put pressure on girls. And it's just natural to, your body's going to change when you get older. So I don't know. I don't really see how people can really comment on a girl's appearance or the way she looks. I think it's just about how hard she trains and, about the way she performs, and how they look is how they look. I don't really see the significance of making it an issue. But yeah, it's sad that that's a reality for a lot of us. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like some people I talked in an interview with, they also been like struggling with just like comparing themselves with other runners as well, and especially like this big thing is a lot of like high school women runners struggles with, like I said, just comparing themselves. Like, what are some of your advice, for them?
Yeah, I would say the biggest advice I have for that is just realizing that your body's going to change and it's natural, and it's every girl to a woman, everyone goes through it, and some people go through it quicker, some people go through it later, some people go through it earlier. Everyone's different, and I think it's just like it's not about the way you look, it's about the way you're performing. And in the end of the day, you're going to have a longer and more successful running career if you let your body just change and you stay healthy and you kind of train through that process and that change, besides really comparing yourself to other runners or other girls or women. And just it's bad for your mentality and it's bad for your body. And it's just the biggest advice I say is just it's natural, and realizing that you're different from everyone else and everyone else goes through similar things. So.
Right. So what would you say is like the biggest thing that you learned from the sport of cross country and also track, just from running in general?
I'd say the biggest thing I've learned is just work ethic and just realizing that a lot can come from some hard work and consistency. And I've really seen that. I've really seen the way that my running has changed, especially when I was running really fast and all of that, and when I felt really good. It's just that work ethic that I really put into it. So not only in running, but in my future career, my future tribulations, and just everything like that, I think running has really taught me like work ethic and just really grinding out there or doing everything I can to be the athlete I want to be. And I think it's just going to really prepare me for the rest of my life and whatever I'm in.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. I think definitely like that's one of the biggest things I learned as well, like just work ethic and just like so with all the grind we go through, and just like crazy amount of pain and training, and like running being like, I think it's like the hardest sport in terms of just like just what you go through pain level wise. Definitely like that translating to just life, and besides running, that work ethic you put into and that grind you put into running, that translates to just in life of just like doing things that are like sometimes not comfortable. It's like and training and like workouts, like it's not comfortable, it hurts so much, but you keep pushing your body to keep on going. So and also like pain tolerance wise, it's just a totally different level like it was before I ran. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So how did you get into running?
I played soccer for most of my life, ever since I was, I think, like 7. I played club and stopped right before I went into high school. I was planning on, I've always like been that, midfielder who was always the one in like soccer practice who never got tired or who was really good at running. I've always had a natural talent for it. And so my parents really encouraged me to go ahead and like try running. Originally it was just for me to like get better at soccer, and I was planning on doing cross country and then playing soccer and then possibly doing track after that in high school. So yeah, I would say that soccer was originally what got me into it. I just wanted to become a better athlete in general, so I thought running was a good way to do that. And my sister had previously done the same to get better at soccer. She did cross country for a little bit. And then once I tried running and I just realized I really had a talent and a passion for it, I really stuck to it. I didn't play soccer my freshman year. I just kind of realized that this was where I belonged and it was the sport that I really wanted to be in.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I definitely hear a lot is that like that like people like soccer players doing cross country for just training and just getting them better for training wise and for soccer. So yeah, well, it's just crazy how like 9% like all top runners are just runners, people who are fast that are just all soccer players. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like every people I like talk to like or like know that who are fast, they're all soccer background.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like some are like basketball and some are swimming. So yeah.
hmm
So how was that transition from Ukaipa to Great Oak?
I'd say it was pretty good for me, just communication wise. My coaches were really good about understanding, like, or trying to provide a smooth transition. My coaches at Ukaipa were really understanding, and they, really gave me a good freshman year to really prepare me for. They knew I was moving before we even started the season, but yeah, I think they really did a good job at really preparing me for the running I was about to go into. And my coaches here, Noble and Souls, did really well at, really helping me transition into a, I'd say, more intense level
Yeah, for
of
sure.
running. I mean, all running is intense, but our program is not like all other high
Yeah, it's a
schools.
different
So
level for sure.
yeah, so I think just the coaches on both sides just did really well in helping me personally just have a smooth transition, and it wasn't too bad for me. It was kind of just a nice, easy way of me getting into a different kind of training. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Like Great Oak is like totally different level of training wise, known as like very intense training. So like,
yeah.
how was that transition for you? Like freshman year, you didn't run that much mileage, right, per week?
No,
Freshman year.
not anything crazy.
Yeah. So like, how's that transition to going to Great Oak, where their intensity and their just their quantity of mileage is really high, and also doubling as well.
Yeah, I would say, I
Is it
mean,
hard?
it's definitely different. The first couple months was probably really the hardest part for me, was just getting used to that kind of running. But I was also such a anxious and determined athlete at the time, and I was really excited to, challenge myself, and it was something that I knew was going to make me a better runner. And so at the time, I was just really honestly excited to go out there and work. And some days are better than others, but I really cherished the days where I felt good. And yeah, I mean, it's different and it's more difficult, but I was so excited at the time just to really further my running career. So
For sure.
it was,
So before you went to Great Oak or like moved to Great Oak, did you know like the history in the program of Great Oak, like how successful and dominant they are?
I did when I was going, like before I moved, I knew that they were a really good team, but I did not know, I didn't even know I was a runner before I knew I was going to be moving to Temecula. So we moved for my dad's job, but before I'd even started running, I knew we were going to be moving to Temecula. So once I started running, and then my mom started researching schools in the area to figure out what high school I was going to be going to after my freshman year, we found Great Oak, and my mom was just kind of like, hey, did you know they're like really good? And so at the time, we didn't even know if I was a good runner yet. But after my seasons at Ukaipa, then I definitely, and competing against Great Oak in various invitationals and everything, I obviously knew that they were a really good program and a really good team. So after the fact, after like the summer going into freshman year, I definitely knew what I was getting myself into once I transferred. So.
Got it. Yeah, it's coincidence. Like a lot of people that transfer to Great Oak, you assume that they transfer because of just the how good the team is. But like I talked with Tyler Tickner, and he like mentioned that like majority all of them are just because of their parents' job, which is a coincidence. So,
Yeah, it really looks like it was for the running, but
right.
it wasn't. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Got it. Um, so in terms of just like freshman year, like a lot of people just like hate running in the first year. But a lot of them, gradually become their perspective and their thoughts on running change, and they tend to like just love fall in the sport and just love it. Like how was that like for you and your perspective on that?
Yeah, I would definitely say when I was a freshman, I didn't love running the way that I do now.
Hmm.
I also, it's like everyone always says running is like a love-hate relationship, and I would say that when I was a freshman, there wasn't much love there. I remember kind of going to like the second day of practice, and it was at the point when I thought like running 3 miles was like the most that I could do, even though I'd be racing 3 miles.
Yeah,
And
same.
I and I remember asking one of the coaches what is the most that we run here, and him telling me that the older girls were going to be doing like 12-mile long runs, and I just remember thinking like I will never be able to do that.
Yeah,
Like
for
I could
sure.
never run for over an hour, but it's now long runs are some of my favorite training runs, and so yeah, I'd say as a freshman, your perspective really changes
Yeah,
a
for sure.
lot.
I kind of resonate with that as well because like in the beginning, I'm like I was going like I think first like 2 miles when I first started training, and like later I'm like no way I can run like and after that I went three, and later all my other teammates like if you go three like they kind of look it doesn't look good. It's like why going so slow, or like just low mileage because nobody goes three. They all go like high mileage, and like all my other like varsity teammates are like come on let's go six. And like people my friends are like let's like go six like three so little. I'm like heck no I can't go six. I'm gonna freaking die. But later on,
Yeah.
like six isn't too bad. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's just that consistency. And later, like, because we have what's called like a little race for camp at Big Bear. We run the whole Big Bear Lake. It's like 13 miles, including like a 1 mile hill. And I never thought in my whole life that I'll be able to run the whole Big Bear Lake without stopping. So definitely, just training wise, definitely changed in that perspective of just what you can like run changes a lot for sure.
Yeah.
So, like as a high school student with all the media attention, what was it like first getting stopped for like doing interviews and later doing like an interview like every single time after your race?
I'd say, especially once I transferred and I really developed into my almost full potential as I was a sophomore and junior here at Great Oak. At first, when I saw the interviews, it was kind of like crazy, and I was like, ah. And I think it's weird because a lot of people see you differently, like
Right.
especially after like I attended the elite camps and everything. I'd
Hmm.
get a lot of people, you know, asking me for like pictures or something like that, and
Right.
it's just so weird getting that type of attention because I just feel, and all my friends think it's so funny because I'm just like a normal high school girl like
Right.
any
Exactly.
other any other person. So at first it's a little weird, and but it's cool. I like sharing, especially things like this. Like I like being able to, you know, go out there and really share my opinion on a lot of different stuff. And I um, like talking to a lot of people. If people want advice or anything like that, I love having like a small enough or a big enough platform in a way just to have people come and ask me for advice about running or about faith, and I just love doing that for people, and I really like sharing my values and my opinion in that way, and I think that's what it's really giving me media wise. It's just I really like talking to other runners and helping them out on whatever they want to achieve.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what was like some of your thoughts on like all the like attention like miles per runner space you being mentioned a lot? Was that kind of hard or not, or it didn't affect you that much?
I'd say I'm never really one of those people. I don't like watching like my own interviews. I don't like to read media or anything like that about me just because whether it's good or bad, I don't want it to like go to my head. So a lot of it I never really paid much attention to unless somebody like told me to watch it or something. I would say it didn't affect me too much, but I think like I really try not to pay attention to it because while there's a lot of good stuff on there, there's a lot of people like on things like Let's Run, a lot of people saying like just, honestly like rude and like
Yeah, for
hurtful
sure.
things about like girls and running and
Right.
just like I don't know. So I never really like to really pay attention or give them the time of day. Um, but I do appreciate a lot of the good stuff that people have said about me in running, the positive things that it has said about me. But yeah.
Got it. What was it like just like your first interaction with someone just coming up to you and like asking for a picture? Like, is there like any like interesting or weird stories that you have?
Um, the first time, or maybe it was like one of the first times I had somebody come up to me. Um, it was right after summer, going into my junior year, right after or before Woodbridge, before my first like big breakout race where I really dipped my toe into some really full potential. I had a guy come up to me and ask me to sign his shoe, but
Oh,
the
okay.
marker was broken, and
Oh,
so it was just kind of awkward.
right.
And then it was, but yeah, I mean, like I love when people come up to me. I think it's really sweet, and when people say that I inspire them, or if like they really look up to me, I really encourage like if anyone wants to. Most people would welcome them with open arms, but I've always liked people coming up to me and asking for pictures. I think it's really cool and nice. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So like Great Elk is like you already know like just huge on the aspect of leadership. So what do you think like your role is in the team?
Um, for me, I wouldn't say I'm really what I would say a vocal leader. It's more just trying to lead by example
Right.
with work ethic or um, I think like some of the girls on my team like think I'm intimidating at first, like when they're freshmen or they come
Okay.
on. Um, but I think that my role, like if anybody ever really came up to me and had a genuine question for me, like I wouldn't shy them away from it. Like I do really love helping people, or um, even if it's just a simple question or like asking for advice before a race or anything like that. I feel like I'm the go-to girl for that, but mainly just I think my leadership is just by showing them hard work in workouts or really just kind of showing them what they could really be as a senior. Especially I think a lot of our really talented freshmen like have so much potential, and I think just my role to them is showing like where they could be in 3 years. Like they have so much potential. So
For sure. So what do you want your legacy to be in life?
um my legacy, um I think for legacy I think I would just want to be um in life in general,
Yeah.
like I want to just be the girl who really honestly like followed God and did everything for that, and
Hmm.
who spread his good news, and took every opportunity just to acknowledge him and appreciate him, and um, wherever my life takes me, I know that it's all in God's good plan. And so I think I'd want to just really be known for that, for being the girl who won't shy away for saying that like God you know, is to blame for everything that happens in life, and God is the reason for everything, and I really think I want to be known for that.
Sure, amazing answer. So, what are some of your goals in life and things that you want to achieve?
Um, I think I'd say first and foremost, I just want to really. I have nothing super specific for the future, but I think I just want to really embrace life with open arms and see where it takes me. And running wise, I just really want to enjoy college running, and if that happens to take me somewhere even further and I have a really successful career, then that's awesome. Um, but I think I just want to take it, small parts at a time, and I really want to follow whatever path is laid out for me, and I don't know what that is, but I want to be successful in whatever I choose to do, and whatever I do in life, whatever it is, whether it's a career or running or just future families. Like I just want to be successful at whatever that is. So
Nice, awesome. So from all your experience from running and like all the advice you got as well and things that you learned, what are some tips and advice for the younger generation of runners in high school?
yeah, I would say one of the biggest things is which is somebody told me this. Honestly, it was some of the best advice that I've received. But just realizing that everyone's different, and as a runner, it's really easy to look at someone else and be like, oh, they're running a 13-mile long run, and why is my long run only 9 miles? And really comparing yourself to whether that's training wise or just in general, just comparing yourself. Just realizing that there's something that's best for one person and there's something that's best for you, and
Right.
not to get caught up in comparing yourself to somebody else, because in the end of the day, the best thing for you is not the best thing for somebody else. So,
Mhm.
doing what's best for you and not overworking yourself or not working the hardest you could just because you want to be like someone else. Really do what's good for you and for your mind, for your body, and really challenge yourself in that way by not comparing. So,
Yeah, for sure. Like I experienced that as well. Like first when I started off running, like the comparison, especially in terms of mileage and training, was huge. And also like my team, like a lot of the runners, like a lot of them like compare themselves, especially like, well, how many miles you run, how many miles you hit this week, or how long you going for your long run. Especially like that affected me as well. But like later on, just like realizing that everybody's different. Everybody in terms of training wise, like some mileage works the best for that person, some works the best for another. So like everybody's different. You just try to do what's the best for you, and what works the best for you as well.
exactly.
So yeah.
hmm
So what is the biggest thing that stand out when you committed to NAU that was different from other schools?
Um, for sure, just like the team culture, I would say is something that really resonated with me, and the relationships that the coaches had with their athletes, and just how it was just like a really big family, and especially on the men's side, and how they have like a really accomplished men's team
Oh yeah, for sure.
and women's rising in accomplishments. I think like it's really easy to think like that they're not like funny or joking or kidding around or a really big and goofy group, but they really are, and it's just so cool to see that side of them and that culture that they really implement on the team, and just it's so wrapped around teamwork and not individualism, and it's something that you know almost can't be taught. It's just like the way those athletes and those men and women are, and they're just a really good group. And so that's something that really stuck to me, is just that culture is just something that you really can't find in a lot of places.
Sure. And yeah, definitely the coach staff, the coaches are really great there for sure. Like Coach Smith and Coach Jared. Yeah, I met Jared and also at State and NXN and Coach Smith. Yeah, they're great people and great coaches. I think like Coach Smith is definitely like, I think he's like the best coach in NCAA. Just like his knowledge and his wisdom is like another level.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are like other schools that you were interested in?
Um, I took two other visits besides NAU to TCU and to New Mexico. So those were the two other factors. And, they were all three great schools. And, it just really depends on the person and what they're looking for to decide, like, what school you really want to go to. And, I could see myself in the future, honestly, at any of those schools. It was just me really looking deep into myself of what I really wanted out of my um, college career. But they're both great schools, so
Uh,
yeah.
how was your visit at NAU?
It was really fun, like I was saying, the culture is something that really stuck out to me, and so like just going on like a run and having some of their athletes just come and like join me with,
Mhm.
and like a couple of the guys on the team like just come and join me for strides or whatever, and the women's team being really welcoming, and so it was really fun, and I just felt at home, and at the end of the day I was just like sad when I had to leave, and that's how I really knew like it was the one for me. I was just sad to leave that environment and those people and those coaches. So it was a really fun visit, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, another thing about like Coach Jarrett, like super nice guy, and he's a great person. Like I was talking to him, like super friendly, super nice guy, and he was treating me like very nicely. But like I'm not even a runner. Like it feels like he's like the way he treats people. Like even though you're not like a top runner, like he'll still treat you like the same, and being very friendly and like welcoming too, for sure.
Yeah, the coaches are so nice.
Mhm.
The coaching staff is insane, and I really think I'm gonna enjoy my time there a great deal just because they're such great people in general. And so,
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So do you know what you want to major in?
Right now the plan is to do nursing.
Mhm. Nice.
So that's kind of the plan. Um, I'm like 70% sure I'm going to end up in nursing, but you never know. I think there's a big majority of people who end up changing their career path in college. So
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, we'll see, but ultimately I think it will be in a medical career somewhere, but nursing is the plan.
Right, nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely like majority of college like people just like they don't end up doing the career that they major in. They grow different perspectives, different thoughts, and just be introduced with just new passions and new fields for sure. In college, like the big thing is growth and like growing as a person. Like, how do you want to grow as a person? And like, what do you want to take away from your experience in college when you graduate and go into adult life?
Yeah, I would say I just kind of want to grow in independence, and it's something so new to a lot of people. Like we're new adults. Most people are 18 years old, fresh out of their parents' house or out of their guardian's house, and I think it's just something so new, and the world's like your oyster, and it's. I think I just want to grow in becoming my own person and really believing in what I believe, and yeah, I think I just want to become my own person. I don't know if that person's going to be a lot different than the girl sitting here today, or if it's going to be really similar, but whatever it is, I just really want to develop into a good person. And so that's kind of what I want to become and grow.
Sure, awesome. So, how do you like to spend like good quality time with your family, especially like the time you have right now?
Yeah, our family's super competitive, so
Yeah, same.
a lot of it is like board games and ping pong we were playing the other night, and
Nice.
um, a lot of just that. We'll go on walks, and just embracing kind of that family time. But I love my family, and I really am the person I am because of them and my parents. And so, while we are all super competitive, and a lot of the games end in fights or rage
Same.
quitting, I do really enjoy the time with them, and I appreciate it a lot. So.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely my twin brother like super competitive. Like it doesn't like either sometimes we like we get angry and sometimes and just go all off and go all out as well. So I have an older sister as well, twin brother and an older brother as well. So yeah,
Oh
for sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah, are you like the best in ping pong in your family? Would you say or not?
I mean, it's biased if I say I am,
Oh, okay.
but I mean, I think it's between me and my younger brother. But
Hmm.
I mean, I've beat him and he's beat me. But I
Got
mean,
it.
I'm biased in that opinion. So
Right. That's like me for basketball in terms of like my bro. Like sometimes he beat me, sometimes I beat him. So it goes on and off. Nice. I also like I heard you guys are very at Grade Oak, very competitive in ping pong at the at camp during the summer.
yeah,
Mhm.
Last year was not my year. I
Oh,
did
okay.
not do as well as I had expected, but my sophomore year, I think my sophomore year was my best year. And then
Nice.
the past 2 years just haven't gone as well, but I've really been picking up ping pong in this quarantine,
Mhm.
so, I think my skills were better, but ultimately I don't have another year to compete in the tournament. But
Right.
if I would have, I think it would have been better.
That's better than Fatima. 'Cause isn't Fatima like
I
the
know,
best?
she's really good. Yes, she's very good. I don't think I could beat Fatima,
Oh,
hands
okay.
down.
So
Really good. I mean, I think I may give her a little better of a go, but she's very good at ping pong for sure.
nice. So wasn't she like champion for the past couple of years?
um, I think so because she did come to camp with us last year,
Hmm.
even though she was going to college. But she does good every year. Yeah, I know she for
Nice.
sure won her senior year. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I love ping pong. Like super competitive with my bro as well. Like because we have a ping pong table at church, so like every Sunday, like we go like an hour early, so we always play. Afterwards, we always play, and like we always
Yeah.
compete each other, and trying to see who's better. Sure. So what would you say is your favorite food?
Ooh, that's a tough one whenever I get asked that question because I'm like a really big foodie. So
Same.
I do like a lot of food, but I don't know, like probably like a burrito. Like I really love
Nice.
Chipotle burritos. That's
Same.
like my weakness. Like if you know any of my friends, if they ask, like that's like my go-to.
Hmm.
But also like I love pizza and I love Chinese food and I love all food. I like a lot of food, so it's a tough question, but yeah.
Nice. How about your parents' like restaurant burrito?
Yeah, it's really good. We have a something called a deluxe burrito, and it's kind of like this wet burrito drenched in like cheese. I mean, it's not great for you, but it's really good. Yeah,
Nice. Sounds
it's
good.
really
So
good.
do you go to your parents' restaurant with your teammates as well, like after like a long run or something like that for
Our
practice?
restaurant here is not finished being built yet,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's been a very long process, but it should be open by I think by July, my dad was saying. So that should be open by this summer. And I think after that I'm gonna see or like go to the restaurant a lot with other people. But we do have another location and I do eat at that one a lot. So
Nice. Don't you guys get like burritos a lot after practice at Kmart?
um I know they have after Saturday long runs, my coaches do this thing called burritos with the boys.
Yeah, I see the
But
pictures on Twitter.
no, yeah, there's no girls allowed,
Oh
so
dang.
I mean, I guess whatever, but yeah, the we're really known for going and getting food right after a long run or
Mhm.
after like a weekend practice for sure.
Got it. Wait, so Coach Souls and Noble don't wanna like how the event for the girls, or did you guys try to do one or talk with
We
them?
we did try to do one this year.
Mhm.
During cross country they did I think it was like walk with the gals or something
Mhm.
they called it, but I do think we did it a couple of times, but it's
Nice.
not as popular as burritos with the boys.
Yeah, I always see like every week in Coach Soul's Twitter, like each picture every week with the boys. Sure.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is your inspiration in life?
Inspiration like a person
Yeah.
or um 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 let me see. Honestly, I would say like my family. Um it's hard to pick just one of them, but I really am inspired and motivated by a lot of the different aspects I see in my siblings and my parents. And there's a part of each of them that I really want to strive to better myself in. And so I'd say my base inspiration is just my family in general. And, like whether it's my dad's work ethic and my mom's compassion and my sister's drive, there's different parts in all of them that I really inspire to be like.
Got it. And if you could have food with three people, living or dead, who would it be?
Oof, food people. I don't know. Okay, a runner, Colin Quigley, for
Colleen.
sure.
Nice.
I've met her like a
Anderson.
few times. Yeah,
Mhm.
but she's really cool, and I also really like hair and braiding hair and stuff, and I know she's
Nice.
really into that and has some cool recipes. So for sure, her.
You met her at NX, Nike League camp as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met her
So
too
that
at NXN. She's very outgoing, very nice person.
yeah, she's super nice. So definitely her. Um, okay, honestly, I would say like Tom Holland is my second one,
Nice,
which
Tom.
my friends would laugh at. But I love the Spider-Man movies.
Nice.
So Tom Holland because that would just be cool.
Very outgoing personality for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
two
he
two
seems
very outgoing people.
yeah, I feel like they'd be such like fun people to be friends with.
For
So
sure.
him. And then like let me see. Probably someone like Selena Gomez or Ariana Grande, like
Nice.
something like that, some cool singer. Yeah, for sure. But that's a tough one.
Wait, so did you like Homecoming or Far From Home?
um, I think I liked Far From Home
Oh, okay.
more. I
Nice.
liked Zendaya
Okay.
too, so I
Yeah, I like
liked
India
that
too.
movie a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, besides Zendaya, what makes you like Far From Home better than Homecoming?
Um, I think just because I mean Zendaya was a big part of it, but it was also like cool because they were traveling to like different places
Oh, yeah, for sure.
or in Europe, I think they
Mm-hmm.
were in, and I thought it was really cool and it was just a cool cast and
Mm-hmm.
scene. So I don't know, I thought it was cool. I mean they're both good, so it's kind of hard
Yeah,
to choose, but I do like Zendaya, so that is why I
for sure.
chose.
I like
Yeah,
cast wise for sure. Like Far From Home, I like better because I'm a big fan of Jake Gyllenhaal, crazy
yeah,
talented actor, and
yeah.
I'm a big fan of Zendaya as well. I was really impressed by Zendaya acting because like I knew her for like Disney Channel, but her transition to like more serious roles like Euphoria and doing like kind of like being an awkward person and an
Yeah.
awkwardness at Far From Home was really well like acted for sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But like for me, I honestly like Homecoming better. Because one thing I didn't like about Far From Home was Mystique, the character, because he came out
Uh,
of like the character development is kind of weak because he came out of nowhere. So I wish I knew like more about him in the past, because
that's true.
he just popped out and start like making a mess and causing danger. But yeah, but it's cool though. The special effects is insane and very entertaining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So what would you say is your favorite running shoes and spikes?
Ooh, um, running shoes. I've been loving the new Infinity Epic Reacts, I think they're called. It's like the
Okay,
new Nike running shoe for
nice.
helping reduce common running injuries.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I thought they were a cool shoe, and I enjoy running in them. So those are my favorite running shoe. Spikes. I think they're just the Victory Elite spikes. I don't really know a specific spike that I prefer. I just kind of use the ones that we get, but I think they're called Victory Elite. Don't quote me on that.
okay,
But they're like mid-distance spike. But
got
yeah,
it. Oh yeah,
and
like
heat.
cool. Yeah, it's crazy like how much gear you guys get, like insane amount of gear. Because talking with like Tyler and like Gabe and like you guys get like crazy amount, like insane. I was talking with Zoe as well. You
Hmm.
guys get like, because I heard from Tyler, you guys get like monthly or like quite often you guys get package for the varsity, right? Like huge back. How often do you get those?
I feel like it changes. I feel like they come in like random waves. Like sometimes we don't get it for a while, and then
Uh,
all of a sudden we're getting it like for like 2 weeks. They're coming in like every 4 days or whatever.
mm,
And so I think it's really random, but it's super cool. I mean,
yeah, for
a
sure.
lot of a lot of high school teams don't get that privilege. So
Yeah.
that was a really cool part of Great Oak for
And you guys
sure.
definitely look the best as well. Like Great Oak definitely has the best. You guys like the design is pretty cool and sick too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. And it's crazy how like everybody like I don't know who told me. I think Tyler told me like everybody on the team gets the pegs and gets like flats as well, which is
Yeah,
like
we get a lot of
dang,
shoes.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. Nice. Oh yeah, another thing about Great Oak, like a lot of my teammates are like huge fans and like follow you guys. Like another crazy thing is, especially with the training, like one of my teammates and like a lot of my teammates, like when they find out like you guys training, they're like, no way I can do that. Like I'll pass. Like how do you guys do it? Like I'll pass out during class, especially going like especially on Tuesday, you guys going like a 12, 13 mile run.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Um, yeah. I mean, it's tough to get used to, but um, you know, I think it just kind of depends on the athlete. I mean, Soul's really understanding if like, because not everyone's gonna thrive off of that,
Right.
and so he's really understanding if like that's just like hard for some people in the beginning and it's more difficult. But I mean, sometimes I look at what I've done and I'm like, I don't know how I did it because
Yeah, that's
kind of taking
crazy.
it 1 mile.
For sure. Like
Yeah.
especially going like 12 miles and going to school, then doing another like a workout afterwards. It's insane.
Oh
Like
my gosh, yeah.
I'll be
They're
so
rough.
tired during school. I just have to take a nap or something. Yeah, like my teammates, like I can't comprehend how like Great Oak runners like run that much before and go to school, then run again. It's crazy, and I have to
Yeah.
do homework too in the evening. So yeah,
Yep.
and just repeat that.
They're-
Mhm.
mhm.
So what are some of your favorite artists?
Artists, ooh, I'm not good with names, but
Uh,
I am a big fan. I mean, not a popular opinion, but I really do like country. So
nice.
that is like my favorite type of music, I think. But I mean, I'm not picky with
Mhm.
music, so I think I like a lot of the popular artists, like whether it's Selena Gomez or a lot of pop artists. But I do love country, so.
Nice. Are you a Blake fan?
Oh,
Blake
what fan?
Shelton? Are you a Blake
Yes.
Shelton fan? You like his music? Nice. So, what would you say is your favorite country song? Or if you don't have one, like what are like your favorite country song right now you're listening to?
Oh, there's a song. I think it's called "I Hope" or "Hope." It's
Okay,
one of those, but I don't know. It's like a like a breakup song.
got it.
Not relatable, but it's a good song. Um, I don't know. I'm not good with names of
That's okay.
songs, but like if you played the song, like I'd probably know it if it was
Got it.
country. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, with the breakup song, like majority of all the big top songs are all like about relationships. It's all about like
Yeah.
breaking up and stuff like that. For sure.
Yeah.
Do you know the song In Case You Didn't Know? Do you like that song?
Yes. I do like that song.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
So are you in any clubs at school?
Um, I am in a club ran by Gabe Abbas
Yeah,
on our
game.
team. It's called For Those in Need, and it's just a way, which is a bummer that I got school's not happening right
Mhm.
now, but it was a way for us, just to help other athletes out, whether it was in, softball or swimming or whatever, any type of athlete, just kind of donating like shoes or doing fundraisers and stuff like that, just to help other athletes who are in need of like gear or anything like that. So
That's awesome.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard about that from Gabe, I think, or maybe from someone else. But yeah, yeah, Gabe is awesome. He's an amazing guy.
hmm
So what is your favorite book?
Oh, book. I'm not a huge reader, so that's kind of tough.
Got it.
But um, I would say I did read the series, like the Divergent series, when
Okay,
I was like in middle school.
got it.
And those were pretty good. I don't know. I honestly probably should pick up reading while I am stuck at home.
Got it.
But
Yeah.
I'm not a huge reader,
Oh
but
yeah,
I
same.
should be.
Yeah, like there's so many books like I want to read, especially like perfect time to read them during quarantine. But like I don't
Yeah.
know, just like I really want to read it, but like reading is just really tough for me because if I read too long, then I get a headache. I can't like my span of just reading doesn't last that long. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I should probably work on that. But
yeah,
yes.
same. Last question: what is your favorite movie and TV show?
Movie and TV show. Okay. Movie. Um, I like a lot of movies, but I like the movie. It's like a chick flick movie. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It's a really good movie,
Okay,
but
I haven't
it's
heard about
like
that
just
one.
like yeah, it's just like a common like chick flick movie, but it's really good, and I do like that movie. But TV shows, like I said, I really like Grey's
Mhm.
Anatomy, especially early Grey's Anatomy, like the earlier seasons. I like to rewatch those.
Got it.
Let's see, what else do I watch? I watch Vampire Diaries. I'm
Nice.
also rewatching that right now.
Dang.
Those are good.
You really like to rewatch
Riverdale.
stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, probably those types of shows.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, Tori, thank you so much for taking time for an interview. I really appreciate it. And I wish you the best in college and life. And yeah, God bless you and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. You
Thanks a lot.
too.
All right, my pleasure. Bye.
Bye.